The history of comparative literature in the impact of ocean. What does ocean mean? The cultural heritage that is sprang from the people, from the genuine, authentic voices of the collective upon which the nation was based. So a nation was based on cultural heritage. Okay, and that is the genuine and authentic roots. Cultural heritage is the genuine and authentic root of a nation, and that was a very powerful one in the age of revolution that swept Europe. We had been discussing the history of Europe when many countries had been trying to locate their cultural identity and their literary identity. In that case, it is said that the cultural heritage, what you have inherited in your culture, that cultural heritage is of the people, that is the genuine and authentic roots of our nation's cultural identity. Genuine and authentic roots. Okay. And that was the position in all over the Europe at the time when the comparative literature was merging from its position. Not all emergent nations invented their own non-existent medieval literature. So they had been searching their cultural roots. Simultaneously, they had been searching their literatures. What is their literary background? They had been searching. আমাদের দেশের অতীত কোনো সাহিত্যের উজ্জ্বল চক্কর আছে কিনা. They had been searching. But it is significant that key text which caught the public imagination right across the Europe and was translated into a huge range of language was also a forgery. Forgery means when they were searching, that is what is our literature, and some countries said that it is our literature, and that literature was translated in English language, and English language or in the language of the country. তারা খুঁজে পেল যে একটা দেশের একটা সাহিত্য এবং সেটা হয়তো অন্য ভাষায় লেখা আছে, সেটাকে ট্রান্সলেট করা হলো কোন ভাষায়? ধরুন বাংলা ভাষা, এবং বাংলা ভাষায় ট্রান্সলেট করে বলা হলো যে এটা হলো আমাদের বাংলা সাহিত্যেরই অংশ. Why? Because they had been searching the cultural roots and the literary roots. Okay, that is the cultural and literary heritage. তাদের সাহিত্যের অতীত ইতিহাস কি, এটা খুঁজতে গিয়ে যেই কিছুই তারা পেয়েছে সেটাকে তারা নিজের দেশের ভাষায় ট্রান্সলেট করেছে এবং প্রকাশ করেছে যে এটা আমাদের সাহিত্যেরই অংশ. And for this reason, when the country was searching for the cultural roots, they translated many literature in their own language, but that is the form of forgery. Actually, that is not their own literature, and that is an example of Macpherson's Fingal, okay, which appeared in 1762. So, thus heading to the tradition and the cultural, next time translated in many languages through in forgery, inspired nationalism in all through Europe. Inspired nationalism, why they did the Xerox copy of a literature in order to establish their cultural root. তাদের সাহিত্যের অতীত ইতিহাস কি, এটা কি খোঁজার জন্যই তারা এটা ফরজারি করে কি করেছে. So the intention was to enhance their nationality, to enhance their national culture, to enhance their national identity. But the process was not authentic. That is the process of forgery. That was the position. And in this, that the person, James Macpherson. And Macpherson is a Scottish writer, poet, literary collector, and politician known as translator of the Ocean Circle of epic poems, and the first Scottish poet to gain international reputation. So James Macpherson gained international reputation for the contribution of মেয়েরা গালে হাত দেয় তুমি কি মেয়ে তোমরা দুজন তুমি তুমি না না ইয়েস খুবই লজ্জা লাগতেছে এক চোরকে হচ্ছে জনসম্মুখে পিটানো হচ্ছে এখন চোর হাসতেছে তো যিনি পিটাচ্ছেন উনি খুব টায়ার্ড হয়ে বলছে যে আমি যে তোমাকে এত পিটাচ্ছি তুমি হাসতেছো কেন তো বলছে না স্যার আমার কান্নাটাই হাসির মতো তো এটা যদি আপনার কারণ হয় গালে হাত দেওয়ার তাহলে কিন্তু সেই স্টেজে যেতে হবে আপনার ক্ষেত্রে তাই okay so James Macpherson was a Scottish poet and translator, and this poet got international reputation as a writer, as a translator, as a collector and also a politician, and that he published a collection of poems Fingal in 1762, and with the publication of that literature James Macpherson was identified in the whole world. তার যেমন নিজের পরিচয় হয়ে গেল পাশাপাশি দ্য স্কটিশ লিটারেচার কত সালে 1762 সালে সেই সময় স্কটল্যান্ড ওয়াজ a part of England, isn't it? So in that perspective Scotland literature got a new identity. Yes, they had a very enriched past in terms of literature. Who did that? James Macpherson. So our concern is that when they were searching for the cultural roots and the roots of literature, in that case James Macpherson first published a collection of poems Fingal in 1762. It indicates that that means the Scotland had a rich cultural heritage. Macpherson claimed that his poem was translated of a Gaelic poem written by Irish bird Ocean. Macpherson next time claimed that actually in Ireland a writer copied my writing, my collection of poems. Who claimed that? Macpherson. What is the basis of the claim? He said that this is written by me. So Ireland, they translated it, and that is a process of forgery. So why did Ireland do so? The way Scotland did, James Macpherson seeks to flourish their cultural identity. In the same way, in Ireland, another country within UK did the same thing, and that was claimed by James Macpherson. Fingal is an example of such ancient epic translated by James Macpherson. So James Macpherson claimed that it is his own writing, but this is not actually the Scottish cultural root or cultural heritage. Fingal ashole Scotlander adi sahitya na. Okay. Macpherson also produced a collection of poetry collected of the Highlands of Scotland. Highlands of Scotland. And but his Ocean version surpassed everything else he produced. So Scotland, I have said, Scotland is famous for the Highlands. Highlands, so this is the map of Scotland. The historic or the red mark or black mark place are the Highland. Highland means hill. Okay. And in that Highland area, many literature, culture was produced. And James Macpherson wrote a collection of poems based on the Highlands of Scotland. Okay. But what was his inspiration? The inspiration he inspired, that is, he started with Fingal. Fingal or Fingal, যেটা আমরা বলতে পারি, GAL, গাল or জাল, pronunciation আমরা জানি না. So that is started from a forgery that might not be the part of Scottish literature, but with that literature James Macpherson wrote many poems that was written on the Highlands of Scotland. So other will not say that it is not the literature of Scotland. So আগেরটা ইন্সপায়ার হয়েছিল যে দাবি করছিল যে